Salt Pile. My name is Hank. With me is Ben.
Yo. You almost fucked it up.
Yeah. When you start talking and you don't know the words you're going to say next.
Me every time I start talking.
We're here to just talk about some stuff we've been doing separately.
Yeah. I've been taking in a lot of shit. You've been taking in some stuff.
Yeah. I definitely purged my salt pile from stuff that was in there that was old, that I no longer wanted to add any. It's like I did this too long ago. I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of things in here that are going to be like very fast, but I think are still worth mentioning, or at least were notable. But I don't have a fucking novel to write about all of them.
My stuff is all up to date with what I'm currently interested in.
Is there anything you want to start with, or any if you want to start with like the shortest thing, or like the I don't know. I don't know.
Sure, I'll start with the shortest thing. Because I'm not fully up to date on it even, which is the anime Delicious in Dungeon. I watched some episodes of that, like 4, I think.
Okay.
It's just charming.
Yeah.
It's not like
I've seen it bumping around. I know the name. It's like cooking and like dungeon fantasy dungeon exploration, right? But like there's a lot of cooking emphasis. Okay.
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
I knew about it from the manga, and the manga seemed charming and fine.
Mm-hmm.
Basically like a group, a D&D party goes up to fight a dragon, and they prepared, they did everything right, except they were hungry, so they lose.
Oh shit.
And one of their mage, who's the sister of their like main tank guy, gets eaten by the dragon. It's no good. It's not, again, it's like D&D, so they can rescue her. They just have to do it eventually. They like start asking of like how long do you like revive someone from? Can people be revived from poop or whatever? So they have to, and then like a couple, like half the party quits because they found a better party, a new party to join up with. They like think about selling their gear because they don't have food, they don't have money.
Yeah.
And then eventually they go to the idea of, what if we started eating the monsters?
Hell yeah,
dude.
We
Wouldn't have to fucking pay for dinner. And then they team up with another adventurer who's a dwarf who's been on his own, who's super into cooking monsters and like knowledgeable about stuff.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Maybe I'll have to check that out. I didn't know that was the premise. That's very good.
Yeah, so it's all about, and it's like going granular on like preparing, how you prepare the monsters correctly and stuff.
Oh, I'd hope so.
Yeah, it's. I assume more plot stuff happens later when they rescue their priest or whatever, their healer, but I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah.
It's just, funny and about eating, and characters that are hungry. It's one of the things that I just like.
I got a follow-up question before I commit mentally to checking this out. If they eat a delicious thing, does anybody orgasm? Are there like if they eat a bad thing, is
not
it tentacle
No,
porn?
it's not Food Wars.
Nice. I'm in. Just confirming, man. I don't know. Can't trust any meal nowadays.
No, the porn is the lovingly drawn food.
Yeah, no, excellent, as it should be.
And there's just a thing of like, wait, you know a little too much about this idea. You've been thinking about this for a while, haven't you?
Hell yeah.
He's got like a book.
Yeah.
Monsters that they're working from.
Oh, that's great.
It's just charming, you know?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's actually a good place to start because I think that makes her a pretty good segue into Frieren. Frieren? However the hell it's pronounced, I should probably know by now. That you checked out a little bit of that one, right?
No.
Frieren, the anime I said to maybe check out. I thought you did up.
Yeah,
like
you
an
said
episode.
that.
No, I thought
didn't
you.
do
I
it.
thought you. Oh, you were saying stuff, and I thought you had like watched an episode.
No, I looked at the manga and was like,
This
is not for me.
I see.
I don't love this art style.
Gotcha.
I will-
Gotcha.
Doing up the manga, the anime at one point I would do
Okay.
when I like
I misunderstood.
find time.
No,
But,
that's fine. I thought you had just like watched an episode or something.
No, I'd read a little bit about it, but then
Mhm.
I've
Oh, I
actually
mean, like
watched
this
it
is you gotta put this one. Like this is one of the things you should put first in the episode title or whatever, because that's good SEO. People lose their fucking minds over this. Like it's the thing. Like I've seen so much shit about is it the best anime of all time and all that stuff. I did the manga and the anime. The funny thing about this is that when everybody was started losing their minds about the anime and how good it was and everything else, and I saw a thing on it explaining like why it's so good and everything else and And I'm like, this sounds like fucking familiar. Like, I think I read something like this. It turns out I had read the manga when there was like 3 volumes out, like 3 years ago or whatever, or 4. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty solid. And now there's like 14 volumes worth of shit out there. So I just had completely forgot. I even remembered telling you at one point because like it was one of those things. Like it was right after we did Dragon Ball, or we were still in the process of it. But I was like, yo, they're just talking about like hiding your power level. Like they're just doing that in this. It's just fucking Dragon Ball. So that was very funny when I looked into it again. I'm like, oh, I know this. So far I like the manga more, but that's maybe, I don't know. I feel like I've been on some like whiffing on like how I picture characters being portrayed versus how they are, maybe. Or maybe it's pacing. I don't know. But the manga does a thing you actually mentioned with Urusei Yatsura, where you have a lot of cutaways to them, just like either just like scenes, like just a vibe scene, or like a lot of it is like, oh, they need money, they're traveling and doing stuff, but like half the shit they're adventuring, but actually half or more of adventuring is just doing little odd jobs to support yourself, and it's boring. So like, oh, we need to put these pumpkins in a wagon. Like that sort of shit. Yeah. And it's very chill and it's very nice. I think the theme is kind of cool, you know. Immortal elf is like, maybe I should try to know people a little better and not just like be dismissive of the fact that like in the blink of an eye for me, people are going to live their entire life, and I should maybe consider that more. And then you get into like, there's like some more plot stuff and everything going on. They get more into like the magic and like fighting demons and stuff, and there's some cool shit. I had a very good time with the manga, and the anime, the few episodes I've done, it seems like a solid adaptation, but like is like I said to you the other day, it's not Pluto. Like it's not like this is a fucking great adaptation. It's like, yeah, it's it's there. It's fine. It's not blowing me away.
The reason I'm not gonna do the manga is purely like modern style manga doesn't like that art style doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, sure.
So I would rather just watch a modern anime.
There was one thing that like immediately kind of not, I don't know the right word. Soured seems a little too strong. They changed a line, and it's not a super important line, but it was one that I liked and I found very good. There's a dwarf.
Did they change it or did they translate it?
Yeah, that's the thing. It might have been translated differently because I went and looked. I tried finding it online. Like I just went and whatever online manga site, and it was different there, and it was shitty, but it was different than the one in the anime. And then I went into the official thing that I read. I like grabbed it again, and I like the version that they had there better because like Frieren is like she's going on her adventure, and all of her former companions are now like old or dead. And there's a dwarf who also, they live for a long time. And she's like, yo, I do need a strong warrior on this journey. That would be helpful. He's like, what are you talking about? She's like, he's like, in the manga, he says this may be a surprise to you, but life goes on a long time even after you've been in your prime. And I'm like, I like that line. That's pretty good. And in the anime, he says something about like he lost his vigor or whatever. I'm like, that's not as impactful to me. But it's fine. I'm having a good time with it.
Sure. Yeah, I may watch it again. But I have like Delicious in Dungeon on my plate currently as a thing.
Hey, on your plate, let's go.
Yeah, that I have not cleared up.
Yeah.
Like not on my list is Invincible, which came back, and I haven't even been in the mood to watch any of that currently.
I will be in the mood to watch Invincible when it's like when I can just go through it. I think there's only like one more episode this season. Great.
I think we're close to that.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's how I did the last part or whatever. Just waited, and then it was all out, and then I could just do all of it.
Yeah. And I also have, however, I don't know if it's like one more episode or I don't know how much more of this is going to be of Metallic Rouge, the other anime I've been watching.
Yeah, you mentioned that a while ago, and I looked into it, and it seemed kind of interesting. I've seen a couple little clips. I mean, the thing you sent me was like delightful.
Mm-hmm. It's the new anime from Studio Bones. Notable for doing, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, okay.
Their first thing.
Gotcha.
But they do like My Hero Academia too, I think, and stuff. They do a bunch of more licensed stuff, but it's
normie
like
anime.
Oh, licensed.
I'm just being
whereas Metallic Rouge is an original thing. I think they're doing for their anniversary for being founded, I think.
Something about, I recall when I looked into it, yeah. It was something like that.
Yeah, and it's the thing I really like about it are the character interactions between the two main girls.
Hell yeah.
They're just, their interactions are fun and it's good. When like the show is being about silly character interactions, it has some top tier shit. The overall plot is more sort of generic sci-fi, like AI or slaves, and
sure,
there are these, and then on top of that, there's like which I like a little bit more about how the show was structured. It was like a tokusatsu just fighting thing of where like these characters and our protagonists can like transform, basically do a henshin, and then they have like these armored forms and they do tokusatsu fights basically.
Nice. I mean, that sounds dope.
And I really there's something about like the first episode where our main character is here to murder this woman, and she's like talking about how she just wants to be free, and like our protagonist just does not listen to her, and then just murders the shit out of her as the music just goes into it just like in English says now is the time for fighting or something. I'm forgetting the exact phrasing, and it's just fucking hype.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
hell yeah. And then like, it goes into her getting introduced to the idea that, you could be free. You could choose your own path in life. I'm like, what? Really? And then stuff like kind of falling out of that. The part about it where I started to fall off was it split up our two main characters, and I'm like, but they're so good interacting together. You've taken away the best part of the show. But they've gotten them back together.
Okay.
In the last couple episodes, so we're back on track.
I mean, yeah, that's important.
And there's this one scene that's so fucking funny. I cannot stop thinking about it, but I will not spoil it here. But it's about interrogating people for they're trying to solve a murder.
Okay. No, that's because that's the one that I want to check out. It seemed really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta finish up all my fucking anime.
Hell yeah.
Now that I'm done with Urusei Yatsura, except I'm not. Like, I can do anything. I can even watch more Urusei Yatsura.
One of the weirdest features about it is like its cutoffs at the end of its episodes feel extremely abrupt. Like they just cut it off. It's weird. Because they're just definitely intentional, but it feels like they've like shaved off a few too many frames or something. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, it's just sort of off-putting a lot of the time for me.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I wonder how I'll feel about it. Yeah, that's strange. Also, I just want a quick note. I apologize if anyone hears like background noise on my end. I can't do anything about it because it's God. It's windy as hell outside. It's nothing I can do on that one. Yeah. Metallic Rouge.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you mentioned it, and I like peeked into it. I mean, just
yeah.
Visually it looked cool. It's the fact that there's character interactions that that this is good.
So too, they're playing fucking rock paper scissors to decide who gets the window seat. That's just top tier. That's just great.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man, that's the good shit.
They're out here to murder the 9 immortal robots or whatever.
I mean, that sounds fun. Sounds slightly familiar.
Uh-huh. It's also looking up for what people were saying about this online is very funny, getting like the vibe of the way anime fandom currently works, where because there isn't a manga, so people know where the story is going, people have a lot of trepidation around an original thing. They don't know exactly where it's going.
God.
Just like people not wanting to buy in or just saying like, but I just need to know where it's going before I can have an opinion about it.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's fair. That's kind of fair, like fair in terms of like, you don't want to get burned, but also I'm like just enjoying it episode. I enjoyed the first couple episodes. I liked the character interactions. That was what I liked. I don't, even if the story is bad, I still like that part. I don't know.
Yeah. That is very funny though.
Just like extremely got the vibes like, oh, just because there isn't a manga, people are like way ahead of.
Yeah,
They know that they could just go all in on fandom as soon as the anime starts without even really watching it.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a thing that you can say is happening with like Frieren and Delicious in Dungeon.
I mean, yeah. Even for me, like I did the manga first, and then like I think the manga is really, really good, and I think because of that, honestly, people are overrating it, like the anime. Like the anime is very good. I don't think it's like people are like it's the best anime of all time. Like chill. It's an anime of all time. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. I'm also like a few episodes. You never know when it pops off. Like if it does something wildly cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
but no, I find that very funny.
And I feel like I was like experiencing that with the Chainsaw Man. When I checked that out, I was like, this manga's really good. And then the anime just didn't work for me. Because it did CG animation in the fights.
Oh.
And I was like, that completely
that
completely ruins it for me.
Yeah.
For a thing that's like an action show, really.
Yeah.
At least an action manga.
I will say
looks so much better.
I will say the Made in Abyss anime is a little bit better than the manga. I'm glad I did the manga first. I can't recommend so the reason I even heard about Made in Abyss or gave a shit about it is because Kevin Penkin did the soundtrack. He did Village Bride and Star Wars Visions. And as we've learned about me, like all it really takes is like a track. I'm like, I should commit to this thing. And I'm like, I looked up if it mattered, like doing the manga or anime. Honestly, it was old enough. I thought it was all finished, but neither of them are. Yeah, I can't recommend it. It's good. The world building is fucking incredible. It's super cool, super unique. I'm very into it. I can't recommend this shit to anyone because the creator is like, Berserk is pretty fucked up, but what if all this fucked up stuff was happening to 12-year-olds? So like it's also a nightmare. Also like it has like the worst parts of like what I have referred to in the past as anime bullshit. Like there's no reason for the orphanage that the main character is from to like punish the 12-year-olds by like stringing them up naked. And then there's further no reason to like draw that, even if you're not technically showing stuff, like what the fuck. So it falls solidly in the camp of like, I want this person to finish their story so I can get my ending, and then he needs to go to prison. Like, just as soon as that last page is fucking published, immediate SWAT response. So that's a thing. But it doesn't, it's I hate it because it does so much shit well. It's like you could be on top right now. Instead, you're a fucking piece of shit. The anime so far, why it's a little redeeming, is it has toned that back because they're like, we want to put this on fucking television. So like they're not, even the little jokes about stuff, like they'll maybe make the joke, but it moves very quickly and it's not like fucking as weird. So that's been nice. But yeah, that's a whole thing. Unfortunate because that world is really fucking cool. What if there was just a giant abyss and there's like treasure and stuff in it, but anytime you go down and come back up, there's side effects. So like If you go down this far and come up, you get nausea. If you go down this far and come up, you bleed from every orifice on your body. If you go down this far and come up, like, you either turn into a fucking weird animalistic creature or you die. So it's them, like, going to the bottom of the abyss to meet the main character's mom, who she thinks is there. And there's a whole bunch of other shit, but, like, yeah. Can't recommend.
Yeah, no interest.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking play it. I didn't know. I had no idea. Like, if I would have encountered that at all, I probably would have tapped out, but it didn't fucking come up. Even looking up when I was like, anime or manga, nobody was like, they're both fucked up. Maybe don't. And then I got committed. So now, like, I need to know. I think the manga is maybe getting, like, close to finishing, though. Because, like, they're getting close to the bottom of that abyss.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll move on to a different thing to finish out the manga anime talk.
Sure.
Tomo-chan is a girl. Another one that, like, I assume I maybe saw a thing on YouTube, like saw a clip or something, I guess. And people were like,
you got algorithmed.
That I got fucking algorithmed. And people were mentioning, like, Tomo-chan, like, fucking anime of the summer, like 2023 or whatever, or maybe 2022. I forget how late I am on this. And, like, like, Tomo was in, like, whatever fucking most popular female character poll or some bullshit. I'm like, okay, like, the premise is Tomo-chan is, like, a hyper tomboy, and she's had a crush on her childhood friend forever, but he just treats her like one of the fucking bros. So it's like her being like, yo, bitch, I'm a girl, date me. I decided to check out the manga, and I'm glad I did first, because the manga was apparently serialized, if I remember correctly, online, like via Twitter or something, and it was it's all 4-panel pages. So reading it was kind of nice because it almost had the cadence of, like, a webcomic. Like, you had your 4 horizontal panels, and, like, 3 of them were pushing the plot, and the 4th one is usually, like, plot related, but it's more like ending on a joke. So
Sure.
It felt really snappy. It was pretty funny. Like, the cadence was good. I had a very good time. And then I, like, turned on I'm like, oh, I burned through it. It's like 10 volumes. It's finished. Anime, I think I made it, like, halfway through the first episode. I'm like, this ain't it. That shit did not, for me, the art did not translate well. Like the art, I think it was accurate, but it just didn't translate well to, like, being in motion. The voice acting was, like, fine, but I think seeing the more, like, hyper anime-esque overreactions, like, static on the page was fine, but, like, just seeing them in action, I'm like, it's a little much. And then the cadence is ruined.
You watch this anime, you're like, oh, anime.
Yeah, it gets me every time. No, but, like, just the variety of things they were, like, Urusei Yatsura, I'm fine. That style of shit, I'm like, this is good. But the type of stuff they were doing, I don't know. It just wasn't hitting. And then the cadence, like, when you're doing, like, every page is, like, kind of ending on a bit of a joke, but you're still pushing stuff forward. That got, like, decimated. Like, keeping that, I think, was just very difficult. But I can very much recommend the manga. It was super cute, and it was very, very fun. And it just, like, ended, which I saw some people were like, I'm surprised that they just let a, like, rom-com manga have an ending where people are fine instead of fucking with you forever. This made me realize a more general thing, though, because as you are aware, I'm not a huge fan of, like, coming of age stuff many times.
Yeah.
Because none of it I don't click with any of it because it's not, like, it's removed from my experience. Or, like, same with high school stuff, like the bullying and hyper clicks and all that. Like, that just happened to not happen to me, so it doesn't hit with me as much. I did realize through this that high schoolers being fucking idiots about relationships, that clicks, because that was me. Like, what if this guy doesn't like me because he doesn't see me as a girl or whatever? That's what she thinks. And then her friend is like, you need to be more girly. Well, that's a bit, that's like problematic. And then like it's exploring all that shit. And everybody's just kind of stupid because they're like 16. And I'm like, I'm fine with this. This is good. So that was like a realization I had, which is funny. Because they're, it's related to coming of age, but it's a little more pointed, I suppose. Yeah, very, very quick read, fun read. It kind of at some points, I don't dare say the character is as good in my opinion, but it was hitting some not hitting. It was filling a little bit of the Ryunosuke void.
Sure.
Like there's some similarities and shit. I'm like, man, this is what I want for Ryunosuke. Like this is the story I want for her. But yeah. It's a good time. Do you you played some games? Looks like, or watched? You played a game and watched a game.
Yes.
There it is.
Do you want to do the watching of games or the playing of games?
I don't care, man. Ball's in your court.
Let's talk about the watching of games.
Okay.
So, Starcraft. It's good.
Yeah.
The new season of ASL, which is the big Korean pro league, started up, and I've been watching it, and it's great. And the thing about ASL, and it's kind of this format of tournament, Star Leagues that they do, because StarCraft 2 does too, is it's like a prep tournament. Because it'll take place over the course of like weeks.
Oh, okay.
And you'll basically you'll know your, and like so you'll know what group you're in, like what 3 other people you're gonna be facing. You'll know your opponent going into the game, and then you'll have. So like for round of 24, I think is where it starts. Like 4 people will be in a group. 2 people you'll both play each other. Then the winners will play. The winner of that moves on. Then the losers play, and then the winner of the losers match plays the loser of the winners match, and then the winner of that game moves on to the next round. For round of 24, and then eventually you start getting into like and I think around the 16 it's the same, but then once you're in like the winners match, you get bumped up to best of 3.
Okay.
Like after like the opening matches will still be best of 1, but then you'll get bumped to the best of 3, and then you'll start going into. We haven't gotten to the other parts this season, so I don't remember. But you think you get to start just doing best of 5s.
Sure.
And it's just good. Like StarCraft is a game where it's like from my childhood, so I fucking love it. But it's like so fucking hard to be good or play that game competitively. But there's something about StarCraft 1 specifically that I find it really compelling to watch. And part of it I think is because it's so hard, and because it's so like there are restrictions on like your hotkey group size can only be so big, and like the way units will like bump into each other. But when players are like really good at managing that, it's like more watching, you're like watching an actual like person is like commanding a fucking army. Like
Yeah.
that, and like these units have certain attributes about them. Like some of them are just fucking stupid. Like some units just dumb because of how they interact. Like those bump into each other and like manage and go the wrong way, and managing that is like part of the game at this point. And with the Terran, with the humans, like they have this unit, the siege tank. And the siege tank, like it goes into siege mode where it will lock itself into place. Its range then becomes longer than its sight actually, and it will just shoot in an area of effect in like big gulps. And like when you have like a mirror match in that of Terran versus Terran, like siege tank like lines of firing like are a huge thing of like controlling space on the map and just having like territory. It's really cool to like just look at and like see units moving around. And then there's some games that will end super quickly because of some stupid cheese, because that also will just happen in certain particularly in like in matches with Protoss or Zerg. It's harder for Terran to kill people really early, but it's just cool to watch. And it has a thing of like the people who are in ASL, like the people who are the best at StarCraft in the world, they've been playing that game for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Like all those fucking things of like, you know, when you reach a certain age, you're not as good a gamer anymore. Like that's just kind of not true, because to be really good, the best in StarCraft now, you have to have been playing StarCraft for fucking ever.
Yeah.
There's like it, and it's because the game is so fucking hard. Just like knowing how it works, like being able to move your armies is like a skill that you learn, and it's not necessarily about like how high your dexterity is simply or whatever. Like obviously if you fucking get wrist problems, you can't play anymore, but
I did actually encounter some StarCraft talk in a Discord channel. People were talking about actions per minute.
yeah,
like talking about actions per minute, and how there was some dude like back in the day, they figured out that he was like I forget what exactly the fucking scandal was, but like they were talking about how different people will be doing different levels of actions per minute at different times in the game. So you have people who really front load that shit, and then you have people who like chill for a while, and then they're doing more stuff later or whatever, and then all different types of things. But like people have styles, and they have like a way that they play the game. And some dude was like impersonating someone or something, or like was lying and had someone else playing the game for him. And people figured it out because they have like literal APM profiles for players. And they like compared his APM profile. And they're like, no, this is actually this pro. Like, what are you doing? Or something. Like, it's so funny.
There is an interesting thing. Like there is a website that has like all the replays for the pros ladder matches. Because even though they like will make Smurf accounts constantly, people just know who they all are, who they're associated with. Partially, I think because they're like the way. So the other thing about StarCraft 1 is like it's actually like the healthiest esports, because it just exists as this TV show in Korea. It doesn't have like any Blizzard sponsoring attached to it. It's just like a self-sustaining thing. Like it makes enough money to keep itself going and profitable. And it doesn't have like as high a prize pools as other esports. So like the players who are good, it's like not a full income. Like they're also streamers, and like they make more also money off streaming. They're not sustained entirely off prize money or whatever. But it's like an ongoing thing that they can just do as long as they keep winning at a certain level.
Yeah, man.
Instead of like these inflated prize pools, or like what fucking of like the publisher just like pouring money into it like HOTS League.
God,
That's,
I
like,
was
just
about to
not
say,
come back,
imagine
yeah.
if HOTS got to be a TV show esque thing.
And like because like it's just this thing like all the best players in the world happen to live, because they're all Koreans and they all live outside of Seoul. Like they live in this same place, so it's all everything's played on LAN.
Yeah,
Because the people are able to live in this specific place and come in like once a week to be a part of this thing.
yeah.
Whatever.
As opposed to like, I don't know, for fighting games and shit, you always see like, oh, so and so is going to like Japan for 2 weeks to like play against people.
Yeah, mostly sports
to,
is like these like endurance tournaments. That's like you're just gonna play a shitload in like a small amount of time.
Yeah, and then you have like fractured people, like fractured teams.
Yeah,
that maybe spar online, but that's not the same.
Yeah, whereas like it's Starcraft, it's not team. There aren't like teams. It's just these individual players. They get prep time. It's just about doing your best. Like it's closer to something like sumo or that, where like you're doing this tournament. You show up, to do your rounds, and then that season ends, and then a new one will begin.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like 2 a year or something for ASL. I'm not exactly sure how often it is, even though I've been watching for like I've been consistently watching it probably since season 13, and they're on 17 now. But it just kind of like it'll be here, and then it'll go away, and then it'll come back in a bit. It's kind of the cadence. But you're just like you get to know the players because you're seeing them repeatedly and stuff.
Oh, that's super nice.
The casters have been casting Starcraft for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Because it's Artosis and Tasteless, who are now like they used to work for the channel that puts it on Afrika TV. Stopped the paying for the English cast, so they do it through a Patreon now. They get the VOD and they just like talk over it, and then it goes up on Afrika TV's YouTube like the so it's technically a day late, but I mean I watch it on VOD anyway. I'm not. It's fine. Yeah. It's just good.
Yeah, man. I mean, maybe I'll check it out.
There's definitely a thing, like, because I've also tried, like, I've watched StarCraft 2, and the thing about StarCraft 2 is, like, there's too much, the units move around like liquid a lot. Like, their pathfinding is, like, too good.
Yeah.
So it's, like, and that game is so fucking fast. It's, like, it's a better game. StarCraft 2 is a more fun game to play, but I think it's a way worse game to watch. Or I don't think it's as fun to watch. Because of like all the hard edges in StarCraft 1 just make it more fun to like as a spectator, and the slowness. And the other thing that's interesting about StarCraft 1 is so much of how it works now. Because, like, again, this is a game that has not been patched in fucking ever. Like, the real patch is Remaster came out, and they fixed Valkyries, which is a Terran unit, which used to have a thing where their missiles, they fire so fast it would hit the sprite limit in the game, and then their missiles would stop coming out as they were supposed to. And Remastered fixed that. So that's like the biggest balance patch the game had. Was they fixed the Valkyrie sprite bug, and so Valkyries were like a usable unit.
Nice.
But all the balancing that comes with StarCraft is from the map design. Like Like the way modern maps are designed is so different from the maps that Blizzard made that came with StarCraft 1. In terms of like allowing you to defend your base and stuff.
Gotcha.
Like it just like allows, and like the pace at which things can expand. But they're also like not super the way they handle the map pool for every season, which the map pool will change every season. But they're not beholden to like the maps the pros want to play on. Like they will always throw in at least one map that's kind of fucked up, but will make for interesting games.
Yeah.
Like they're not above like maps that are like experimental and like doing something weird. And like some of those are more interesting than others. Like last year there was a map that was like it had a big 76 in the middle of it, and it had like these 2 islands in there where you could like put siege tanks on the edge of it and like siege in like a way that is mostly not in the game anymore because it's too powerful. It's just very funny. And like this season there's this weird map that has like this trick about how extractors work where you can like lock your opponent into their main base and like seal them off, so they're like operating out of an island basically, which is like a death sentence because you're just like you're fucked.
Yeah,
you can't get out of your main base. It's just very funny.
No, that shit's great.
And I was thinking about it in terms of like how I think a lot of esports fucks up by being too deferential to what the players want.
Yeah.
In terms of balance and in terms of like format.
Look,
because the best and like it's also because I think about it, because the best idea for HOTS esports actually has come since HGC, and it's like HGC came down, and it's the stuff Caldor does where they're like the incentives for raising money are like the viewers banning out heroes to the point where like half the like most of the characters are banned by the end of the tournament. And it's so fucking hype. Where and teams can only pick up a hero once and then they're banned for the rest of that match and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that makes, if that had been around for HCC, I think it would have been so much better for it. It just makes it a much more fun thing, and you don't get stuck like just in the meta of seeing the same thing again. Like the extent to which like esports does not think about that stuff as like your entertainment, like make the thing people want to see. Because the other thing I think about was the Magic the Gathering pro thing where they were like paying the players, and they all had to like pay, and it was miserable, and they were just playing standard every week, and everyone was fucking bored. Nobody fucking liked it, and the pros weren't happy either. Yeah, they all had to like stream, and they didn't want to. It's like, this is not how this needs to work. Like,
yeah,
you have to streaming should be a part of it, and you should fucking only be doing it if like you like doing it. But also like the format should change to make it more fun to watch. It shouldn't be like we just like, if you're just trying to get the express the highest level of this thing, well, you're doing too much of it because it's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas like Magic is now like Magic like went then the other way of realizing the Magic streaming is just like a world for people who are entertaining, not for the best players in the world. It's kind of the way it's gone. Because the pros fucking burned all the goodwill of like because they so did not want to stream, and they were so bad at it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's like, yeah. But there's just a thing of like, what if you treated esports like it was entertainment?
Yeah,
What if you
man.
made it a compelling, a fun, just it focused on making it the most fun thing to watch instead of the hyper competitive? Because the hyper competitive thing is also, I think about in terms of like Overwatch, of just like fucking up the game that people actually play because you're like trying to chase some fucking demon of like making this like a more balanced fucking sport or whatever, like balancing it for the highest level and then making it less fun for normal people.
Start with me on Overwatch.
Because, well, I was also thinking, because like I was just watching the Tekken devs in the like Eddie and they were like talking about this of like how they have to think about balance at the top end, but also for the majority of players, like they're looking at data for those two sets, and they have to think about both before they make changes.
No, you don't. Yeah.
If you want people to enjoy your fucking video game.
Dude, it's funny. You presented me with two great segues into my video game stuff. I don't know which one to follow.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll go with the balancing thing because we can kind of go back and forth. That's been a thing in Super Auto Pets, of all fucking things. They came out, this is a while back now since I put this on the pile, but it's still kind of relevant. They came out with their new pack. They did a unicorn pack, so you have like mythological creatures. And like, I think my understanding is, because I don't fucking, their news stuff on Steam is like not super comprehensive. I think a majority of like the updates, the discussion, like what we're thinking about, what we're planning, blah blah blah, that's all like Discord, which like, no thanks. I'm not hanging out in a thing sifting through garbage to keep up. But I think for this pack they decided not to do any community testing, and it was terrible. Like, the pack is great, it's very fun, there's a lot of cool ideas, but holy shit, like, it's like some like worse than Magic at like at releasing the most broken shit. Like,
that makes sense.
Made worse by the fact that, like, I don't know. It'd be like Wizards of the Coast being like, you know what, Lightning Bolt was too strong. Like, 1 mana for 3 damage, that's ridiculous. And then in the next set, they're like, what if we did 0 mana for like 5 damage? That's fine. Like, just insane shit that they did after like balancing stuff, and then came out with things that were vastly more broken. And I don't know how that happened. They've been like balancing it and stuff, but simultaneously, like, they've been doing the stuff, the balancing that was happening before that. Like, I think nearly 100% of it is based on like the ranked mode, which is like, you're in a pool with people, and like that, I don't know how much of the player base is playing that. I would kill to know what the ratio is, because it's one of those things where like they kind of default to streamers sometimes, because those people are bringing in the numbers, right? But like,
those are people that are, and like the people that are watching them are also mostly franchise people who are gonna be talking about what is complaining or whatever.
Yeah. And like, I kind of get that, but like, following the streamers, and then who don't always necessarily do ranked, to my knowledge, but then balancing for ranked, I mean, I assume their numbers you wouldn't think they would just be ignoring the data in their game. But like, I'm someone, I only play the asynchronous mode. Like, shit, when we started up, I was like, how dare you interrupt me? And you're like, can't you turn it off? I'm like, fuck you, yeah? That's great. My thought would be that's what the majority of people are doing. Maybe not, but that's definitely. I mean, and that's like, this is just one example of like we're gonna balance this for like the shit that's broken at the top, right?
Yeah.
And then it fucking cascades down and feels worse. Like there was in this specific example, there was one pet that like looked fine to me, and I think to many other people they're like, yeah, this is okay. Like I kind of never take it because it's really niche and sort of garbage. But in ranked mode, like for the top however many people, like they were taking it all the time and using it all the time, and every fucking team had this pet in it. And I'm like, it's like, I stop. Like it's meant to be more of a general thing, but they're just like honing in on this, and it happened to work well.
Yeah.
But then nerfing it makes everything like now it's generally useless, and they've just been doing that a lot. So it's in this thing of like, man, this game is still really fun, but I don't know what the hell is going on in the dev team's minds. So that's been a whole thing. And
Yeah.
like they're making some sweeping changes to like one of their things that they've been kind of going back to do is as they've gotten more experienced, I guess, or have like a better vision of what they want the game to be. They go back to like some of the older packs and they like make adjustments, and they'll like take pets out or add new ones or whatever. And one of those was great. They added like an entirely new mechanic, so like you can get toys, which are like temporary buff things or whatever. And it was in the puppy pack, so you have like the puppy, and then you get like there's like a tennis ball toy and that sort of thing. And it was super cool. Like they redid all this shit. But now it just kind of they're like looking at redoing one of the other packs, and it's like they had this idea, and then they were like, actually, this idea is garbage, and now we need to we're committed to keeping the theme of this, but we have to redo the entire thing, and it's like, it just is very messy. They need to think twice and commit once, I think. Feels a little bad.
Yeah. I don't know, like balancing by nerfing broken stuff, I just always feels bad on the player end, I think.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the
I mean,
problem.
like other exceptions, because there are times when shit is actually so busted that people are fine with it. But
and that was the thing with like the brand new unicorn pack. Like I just don't know what the fuck they were testing. I truly don't, because it's not like, oh damn, they have like one really busted thing. Every other fucking pet was busted beyond belief. Like, for an example, for people, there was a pet, the llama, which had been recently changed so that when the llama is on your team, if you buy a pet, the llama gives it an experience. And they made this so it only happens once a turn. And I think maybe, I forget what it was at some point. The llama used to do it like as much as you would buy stuff. So it was just like free shit constantly. And then maybe at one point they made it so that as the llama levels up, it gives more experience. And they're like, okay, this is too much. Like, we don't like how much this is doing, blah, blah, blah. We're going to limit it. And then like once it levels up, now you can like give a pet an extra experience like twice a turn or whatever when you buy it. And that's fine. That, like, if that's the direction they're going, that's whatever. In the unicorn pack, they released a pet that when you level up a pet, it gives it 1 experience, and then if it's leveled up, it gives 2 experience, 3 experience, but also gives it like this mana, which is a new mechanic that deals damage and other shit. And it had no trigger limit, so you could just get all of these things on your team, and like as soon as if like something leveled up in battle, like your entire team just fucking yeets itself to like 50-50 or whatever. And it's just all this broken shit. And that's like one archetype that was like busted. And it's just, I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
So like that deserves to be nerfed, but like I don't know how it got there. And then some of the other things that like they thought were too strong. Now it's like, okay, you thought this was strong and then you did this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
So that's been my balancing thing recently. But I've been like, I mean, I've been immersed in balancing discussions because like Street Fighter, Tekken stuff, like if you look at like who's dominating the bottom ranks of Street Fighter, it's like wildly it's like the worst characters in the game for like anything in the top ranks. Like modern Zangief is doing a number on new people.
That makes sense.
Fucking King is taking the new Tekken players to town. That's free money.
Uh-huh.
But then, like, as soon as you get up into a tournament or whatever, like, where are they? Nowhere.
Yeah. I do really, I was very excited that they said that, like, the patch for the May patch that's coming after Evo Japan is, like, their focus is on buffing characters who haven't gotten, like, their chance to shine yet in this game. Like, whose stuff is not
Kuma and Panda about to be ridiculous. Straight to the top.
But that's
cool.
I love that's the right, like, the stuff that, like, we worked on it, we put it in, and it kind of isn't, it's at the bottom. It's not getting its chance to work because some of the other stuff is too strong. Let's see if we can bring that up. Like, that's
yeah, dude.
In it particularly in a complicated ecosystem, like with so many characters like that. It's the idea that, like, with Dota that I always liked was kind of, I think it's Ice Frog's kind of idea about mostly, buffing the characters.
Yeah, you don't have to make everything shit. You can make everything good. That's an option.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I really hope
lots of things are good, then the game is more fun.
Yeah. I hope that's what they do in Street Fighter. Like, in 6, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, as we've talked about before, like, the fact that we're technically not on day 1 balance anymore. They did their little patch. Like, it's really, really good for balance, pretty much, compared to a lot of other games, especially for day 1. But, like, you don't have to, like, it's not like the characters are wildly ahead. You don't necessarily have to bring them down very much. Yeah. Like,
unless it's as you said it, then now you can sidestep for knee strike.
Yeah.
Now they were showing that was a thing that they had just changed that they were showing off.
That makes sense.
So you can sidestep that now. It's no longer that if you sidestep the first hit, you get hit by the follow up.
Well, I guess I'm not playing Tekken anymore. I wanted to go in on Tekken. I was ready, but, like, my region is fucked for it. I was waiting literally 25 minutes to get a leggy match. I'm like, this isn't worth it.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's
the
interesting.
heart's there.
Because I think Tekken is bigger worldwide than Street Fighter.
It might just not be here. It might,
like,
or
in Europe. I'm pretty sure Tekken's much bigger.
I don't think anything's big here. I was told that this is Mortal Kombat territory. I don't know how accurate that still is.
Oh, well, yeah, Mortal Kombat's also worldwide.
Yeah. I mean, I've never tried, so Street Fighter I do now that they added their worldwide thing. I get matches more frequently, and they're decent quality, they're decent connection. But Tekken is, like, that's rough. Which sucks, because, like, I kind of like that game. I like the vibes of it better. I think I would get my ass beaten it more, but, like, the music's pumping. Azucena is fun as hell.
Yeah, I should play more Tekken. I kind of want to play more Street Fighter 6, but also I'm like, Drive Rush, though.
Dude, that's one of the things for
Drive
balancing.
Impact.
Like, There was a meme going around. Someone's username in game was "I'm 30, don't DI me."
Oh, I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, man. There's so many people who are like, "This game is fun, but goddamn." No, that's like one of the balancing things that like, I mean, they fucking did it themselves. Like they put in a universal mechanic, and like part of what makes a character incredibly good is how they get to use that mechanic. Like Jury's regular dash is already fucking insane. Like I still remember when me and you played a while back, and I had played Jury for the first time like since I ever turned the game on, and I dashed once and I went like half screen. I was losing my fucking mind. I didn't know what to do with myself. And then like her drive rush is also insane, but like if you change her drive rush, then maybe she can't do whatever combo, and now she's like garbage, and then you need to change that. Like,
man,
it's such a dumb fucking thing to have to deal with.
Yeah, and it gives like the matches such a distinct character that's so specific to that game, but also I get sick of it. Like,
oh yeah, when I mean, whenever someone's like dunking on me and they do like their third drive rush in a single combo, I'm like, here we go. Fine. Yeah. It's, I don't know, man. I've gotten slightly better at dealing with it, but it's just, I'm still very stubborn about it. And like, to the point.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing of like, I just don't want to put the time into to really learn it.
Yeah.
Because I could just go play Third Strike and get my ass completely destroyed, but, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be drive impacted. I don't know.
I will say, since 6 was my first fighter, Drive Impact specifically was, like, really good onboarding. Like...
Sure. It's a strong pain point. Like, for learning, like it's a button you can press that's very impactful, and it's a thing you can respond to and have to learn how to deal with. It's like very clear about how it's gonna work.
I understand why, and like drive rush and like parry, I forget parry exists on a regular basis. I understand why like people kind of bitch about it, and like people complaining about like, oh, it's just neutral skip city and everybody's just going full ape shit and whatever. Like, I get those complaints. I think they're a bit dumb, but like as someone who was a new player, this shit felt incredible. There's a reason I have 300 hours in the game now, and it's because they did a good job at making it fun to play and pick up. Shit just
the neutral skip complaints are also dumb because like every fighting game eventually we're like, but like as if any fucking fighting game doesn't eventually figure out how to skip neutral.
Well, and that was like there was a thing a while back. Maybe we talked about it a little already. I forget. Justin Wong, I think, was talking about how like
I think we talked about it on our fighting game episode.
Probably. Yeah, like back in the day, like neutral skip has always been a thing, but like the internet exists now, so everybody just knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your fighting game experience is not playing with your friends.
Yeah, and then like going to your arcade or whatever, and then there's some tech that your arcade knows, and all of you keep your fucking mouth shut so they don't know about it at the arcade down the road.
It's not just the things that you and the people are physically around you have figured out. Like, the internet has figured shit out, and people have watched videos and learned shit at an incredible rate.
It's the same thing. When people were talking about this the other day, I brought it up because I remembered it's like the same project that or problem that Magic the Gathering had, where they're like, people are figuring out the meta in like hours instead of weeks.
Yeah.
When Arena cracked and everything else, like that's a thing you gotta fucking deal with for players and for the company.
Yeah.
And
and they did that into like, instead of our pro level standard is like one tournament, like before this, like at the start of the set being out, it's ongoing matches constantly throughout the whole existence of the set. So everyone's just super burned out on the thing the pros figured out fucking months ago already.
Yeah.
Like they fucked that up so bad.
Yeah. No, that whole they bungled all that shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of Third Strike, though, I'm gonna kind of combine these into a thing because it's more or less the same. I have on here Third Strike, Street Fighter Third Strike, Alpha 3, and also Gundam Wing Endless Duel. For the Street Fighter games in particular, after I was getting particularly sauced by Drive Rush in 6, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to Fightcade. And I got my ass beat, and that's still an understatement. Those people are crazy. But I was having a good time, and maybe part of that is because like the mechanics are, I mean, like Third Strike has parry, and the people that I'm facing aren't necessarily doing parry back and forth all the time, but like it's still a thing. And you have the people who are really good at it. And like in Street Fighter, in Alpha 3, you have like the Zism, I think, is the busted one that allows for like infinite combos and a lot of setups and shit.
Yeah, the custom combos.
Which I don't care about. I do Aism, and usually people are pretty good about following, and I have a good time. But like, you're just playing. You don't have to worry about like someone dropping 3 Drive Rush things. They do their combo, and like the combo isn't insane. Part of the thing with Drive Rush that pisses me off is that it extends the combo, and you're just sitting there. If Jury is on my ass in 6, I'm gonna be chilling for like 30 seconds while she takes that time to do like 12% damage after hitting me a million times. It's like a fucking anime fighter up in here. But in Third Strike, they're gonna hit me like 5 times for like 50%, and then they're gonna like just finish it.
No, that's a thing I've just found in general that's like about older fighting games. You just had way less health.
Yeah, and it was
like when you go back,
nice.
And it's just fucking more fun. And it actually feels better to me as someone who, like, I don't have to learn how to like lock you in with all these moves, like, because even if like you're hitting me for like me hitting you a few times, your health has gone down. Like I'm in a position where I could do something, right?
Oh, that's the thing. Even for like me trying to learn, like, I mean, it's just general good practice, but like, for example, Marisa in 6 does not have good anti-air options. Like, she's just not an aerial character because she's thick as hell. And people talking about like, oh, if someone's like trying to cross you up, you just jump back, jab, which like, yeah, that stops them. And ideally, like, they figure it out, you ground them, and then you play your game. But it feels fucking terrible when the person doesn't learn it, and the game is 60 seconds of me ticking them down little by little, and it's doing nothing. And I'm playing the character because I like the character, who is supposed to have big, strong punch. They're supposed to just pow. But like, yeah, when me and you go back and play like older fighters, like, you fucking tap me with a light, like, health is removed. Like, that's if you hit me with enough lights, I'm going down, which is true in 6. It's just gonna take 4 times longer.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think Tekken was the series where I first like super noticed it. When I would go back to play 3 and just like, you just fucking die. Like, you're just gone so much faster compared to 7.
Well, and that's I mean, this is a good like weaving Gundam Wing Endless Duel, which is like my darling at this point. I found one person who's like just down to play. Like, they'd been waiting to play that game with someone for like years, and they also were not good at, like, they didn't. It's not like they had played much of it, so we're pretty equal. And it's fucking great. But holy shit, like, it's one of those things where like this game on paper is a goddamn mess. But it's so much fun. What if every move chipped? all the time.
Hell yeah.
And then what if every move hit on the ground?
That
What
part's fucking gross. That's
Dude.
so
But here's the thing. It doesn't...
Like, I can't even, when I haven't played enough of it to, like, wrap my head around, like, you need to be, like, fucking punishing when they're on the ground so hard. I'm so used to that being, like, breathing time.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's when you get fucked. But the thing is, and I've had some people, because it's like Gundam, and just because of, like, you get, like, the air dashes and shit, which makes sense, because, like, they're mechs, they got their boost and everything. I've seen some people who, like, think it's going to be anime style, where, like, I'm going to hit you 1,000 times. Like, I've gotten you on the ground and everything hits on the ground. I'm going to just kill you. Like, it's one touch death. And it's not true, because, like, the combos, like, the longest combo that I could find in the best character was, like, 7 hits. And I don't even know if it's 50%. And it uses super.
Except the infinite. The death scythe has.
There are multiple infinites,
Yeah.
My character has an infinite, but it's more I get to juggle you with one move.
Yeah.
No, there's that shit, but, like, in a general combo.
I'm just saying, like, at high levels it would be that, right?
I mean, yeah, but like for example, Death Scythe, his bullshit, like, it's weird, because, like, I think there's like, it's the same level of high level, but it's like there's a split between, like, the bottom and the top. Because, like, at the top, it actually doesn't matter, because, like, avoiding it isn't that much of a chore, is my understanding, based on the bits I've watched and everything else.
Sure.
But if you're, like, below that threshold, you're getting fucked. Like, yeah, if he touches you're gone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then everyone else's infinite is, like, just a lot more specific and hard to get into and maintain. But no, just, like, the fact that, like, you're just sending it, like, I don't know, man. It just feels really good. And for similar reasons that, like, Third Strike and Alpha 3 do. And, like, any of the old games we're playing, like, it just, I don't know, man. It's just the whole thing. Also, they look better.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Speaking of like, looking better and vibes and, like, Third Strike and shit, I had the wildest take from someone the other day. They said that Street Fighters, and I guess I can kind of see it, but they said the Street Fighter 6 vibe is just Third Strike but modern. And I'm like, if that's true, they fucked up. Because, like, Street Fighter 3 is just, Third Strike is just crazy.
Yeah.
The music, the voice lines.
Yeah, all the audio is just too fucking powerful from Third Strike. It's so 6
good.
Definitely has more Third Strike in it than fucking Tekken, Street Fighter 4 and 5, I'll say.
Sure. I could see that.
Because, like, one of the reasons I like playing Chun-Li in 6 is, like the way a lot of her moves look is more similar to, like, her Third Strike stuff. It like there is a feel there that's a little similar.
Yeah. Oh, I could see
compare
that.
it to 5 and 4.
She feels more like a broken asshole. I see. I got you. Guy fucking pulling out Chun-Li on me. I have, like, an hour collectively in Third Strike.
Hey, you did pretty good.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, getting, I got a win, I think. That felt good. Yeah, it was a win, because you were like, I get to change characters.
Yeah.
As is tradition. No, like, I'm calm and see, like, I'm fine. I'm fine getting rocked, as long as I can, like, I know how to block now. It's the thing.
It's true. Blocking. So annoying. Can't just unload.
See, the best part, that's why, you know,
can't just mindlessly hop at you and just you melt.
If we were the same level in Endless Duel, you could. Blocking does nothing. Yeah. No, even, like, I mean, even when we were playing 6 a little bit, and, like, obviously Marisa at this point is like just skyrocketed, but like even going to the other characters, I'm like, I remember trying out the other characters because they were all equal the first time we played. And like, I still had practiced Marisa a little bit more. Like I had done more of her shit and I was comfortable. And like going to other, and even like when I was gold or whatever and we played again, like going to other characters, just like nothing, like completely lost in the fucking fog. And then when we played, I was like, oh, Jury actually feels amazing without knowing anything. Like this is, I got this. Dude, I actually fun anecdote. I played against someone just casuals in a custom room, and he's a master. I almost fucking took a round off him with Jury, and I know nothing still. No practice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no. Going to old.
That's actually my thing with 6 is like, I think it, for me, that game just felt. The problem, part of why I don't want to get into it is just like, the part that I'm at of learning is not the part that is super fun. Like that feels like a hard step of learning how those specific mechanics, like having that mastered. Whereas like just jumping in and doing stuff in that game feels super good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, totally. Like it still fucking slaps.
Yeah.
I just feel bad when we like. I mean, when we play, I'm like, I hope Hank remembers that he is one drive impact away from losing this game. I could just drive impact your ass all day.
Yeah.
Until you remember the button exists, or the combination. If you do that,
I mean, if you did it once, then I would remember.
Sure, you say that. But what if I did it
doing
3 times back to back?
Well, then I'll just eat shit. That's fine. Sometimes you gotta. That's how I learned how to play Chun-Li in Third Strike. Was getting my teeth. Well, that's the phrase I use to describe it. Is I just got my teeth kicked in.
I mean,
until eventually I learned how to walk.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. In Third Strike, and even Alpha 3, there's enough people playing it, especially Third Strike. It's like the most popular game nearly every time on Fightcade.
And that wasn't online. That was played with my friends.
Yeah. No, you had a totally different. You had a totally different onboarding.
Yeah. They would just hang out and smoke weed and play Third Strike.
But see, like, there's enough. Those games are popular enough on Fightcade that there's like a wide range of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can get in and have, even if I'm losing most of my matches, like, I can have a good time.
I'm so excited for Third Strike at Evo this year.
Yeah, that'll be
so
fun
fucking
to watch.
cool.
But then you have, like, Gundam. If someone challenges me in Gundam, I'm about to lose, like, faster than I know what's going on. Maybe that's actually not fully true. At this point, like, I can, like, I know just enough to like kind of, I'm still going to lose, but like I'll be able to follow the motions of why I lost. But like there's so many times, and I do it every time because it's funny as hell. 99% of the time when I look at the person's Fightcade profile, 1 game played, Gundam Wing, like 600 hours. And I'm like, this person's been playing the game since it came out. Actually, they just had their 28th anniversary, like Friday. So like this person bought it day 1, and they're like, this is it. This is fighting games. And I think that's true for a lot of those games on Fightcade. But like,
totally.
But it's still fun. But like the problem for me is that at that point I'm learning like nothing, you know?
Yes, no, I understand.
It's too far beyond. Or like kind of it's kind of like when we first played 6. Like you're rinsing me so hard that I almost am. Maybe not that wide of a gap, but like I feel like I'm learning nothing from this. Not even how to block. I didn't even learn that, Hank.
It's true.
It would take another 300 hours before I figured out down back is broken.
Yeah. You did have a lot to learn at that point.
Oh, dude, even, I mean, it's been wild.
You got there pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, even when I talk to people who are like way above me, they're like, "How many hours? You have 300 hours in your head? That's like insane." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
you." It's been like very rewarding, I guess, because like it's not like we play that game hella frequently. So like I even remember when I was obviously brand new, you beat my ass, and then I think I was like silver or something, and like you still pretty much beat my ass. And then when I was like high gold or mid high gold, like I dusted you like twice, and then you immediately adapted to my shit and you beat my ass. And I could not. You were like the worst type of person for me to play against, and I could not get it. And now the last time we played, I'm like, it's fucking go time. I'm in. It has been like super rewarding. Again, I wish I would have known this shit when I was like 19 or whatever. I could have been having fun all this time.
Could have been having fun.
Instead, I bought Skullgirls day one when everybody else did, and then I was like, a quarter circle. I'm out. Literally dropped the game. But whatever. Better late than never. I do still have like two things on my list. Well, three things technically.
I have one thing. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, you know what? We can go back. We can go to your thing. We can do our video game talk. I still have another
The
game.
thing that has consumed my life?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is a minigame collection where you hang out with your buds.
I can't tell if if that's a joke or not.
No, that's what this game is. Because it's like the middle of a giant RPG. And this is a thing with original Final Fantasy where there were a lot of minigame things. And their idea for this iteration where they were going to make this middle chapter was to go fucking all in.
Hell yeah. Games. I did not know that at all. That's very funny.
Like there's a whole fucking card game in this game.
I've heard about that.
Called Queen's Blood. And it has like its own little whole story arc to it.
Jesus.
There's a part in the game where just like where originally we were just taking a boat ride. And so while on that boat ride, we're having a Queen's Blood tournament.
Hell yeah.
I mean, you're going to be... and it's going to be very silly.
Nice.
There are like two different weird... There's like two different weird like strategy games. Like there's one that's like kind of like Clash Royale that was in the DLC for the first game, and there's this other one that's like a programming thing where you have like
weird
these robots that then you can like set them up for all these fucking like if then things. Luckily for that one you can just say, give me the fucking preset shit, I don't want to think about this. And then just play the game. Yeah, that's what I did. Because
that's very funny.
It was. I didn't find that one was one that I just didn't find that fun. There's a whole fucking rhythm game of you playing the piano, and they like, well, and you're like playing the piano on the sticks, and they like modeled the like ability for you just to like play the piano on it, and where like there are button combinations to like shift into flat and up and down, and
I did see that because YouTube algorithmed me with someone doing a 2 Xanarkand on it, which I'm sure was like the first fucking thing anybody did. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know there was a mini game associated with that.
Yeah, there's a rhythm game.
Okay.
Associated with it. One of the rhythm games, getting the A, which is what you need for the A rank, is what you need to like get the reward out of it or whatever. One of them is like the hardest thing I've done in the whole game. Cause there was one song that really required you to do timings on the different sticks, and they were separate. And it's so fucking hard for my brain to handle. Of like when I could like hit both sticks at the same time on the rhythm, it's fine. But when I have to quickly do one, then the other, then back, that was a lot. That was a lot for me. Because I like rhythm games, but I would not say I'm good at rhythm games.
You need to play like another 100 hours in that, and it will really level up our 1, 2, 3 clap game.
So there are definitely some of those piano songs where I sat there for quite a while. There's also so like, and the thing that can get brutal about it, the way this game does, is like so in the original game there's like you go to like a seaside resort town where there's kind of nothing there except like you can kick a soccer ball with some kids who are kicking around a soccer ball. Like you can go and kick the ball.
Nice.
But there's kind of nothing else in that town. And then later on in that area, you then go to the Gold Saucer, which is like Disneyland for the world. Of like, this is the amusement park. This is minigame world where you have lots of mini games. In this game, they made your boat ride to the seaside town is a fucking card game tournament. The seaside town is fucking full of new mini games. There's like a shooting gallery.
God.
There's like fake Rocket League, but
shit.
you're like the dog character and you're fighting against other animals and it's jank as hell.
Hell yeah.
But it has like, you're knocking around these big physics balls. And there's like a hide and seek, and there's more card game. I think that's where they introduce like puzzles, like levels for the card game. So they're fucking better than Arena because I have puzzle problems. And then you then you go to you still go to Disney World, and it's full of new mini games.
Jesus. Now I understand why you're getting like obsessed.
It's just a lot. Also, it's like a full open world checklist game.
Yeah, sure, of course.
If you like going to like little dots on your map and doing all the things and unlocking everything. So obviously, I'm doing that. It's like I don't play a lot of those open world checklist games, but when I do,
yeah. Gotta fucking
like
go
Spider-Man.
for it.
I also basically do all the things. It's like it's right at the line where I'm doing everything. Like if it were, it's right at the line. If it were any other game, and if it were a little bit worse or more annoying to do everything, I don't know that I would. But it's like right at the line.
Yeah.
I think the point at which I'm not going to do everything is now it's stuff where the side stuff that I have left is post game. You like have to do it after you finish the game, and I don't know that I'm going back once the story is over, because that's usually my limit. With like, even if I'm thinking about doing stuff after I finish the game, once I finish the game, I'm done.
Sure. Understandable.
I'm walking away to do something else with my life.
Yeah.
There's another game I'm fucking dying to play that is on the back burner because I'm getting through this, and I'm pretty close to the end. I've like finished. I think I'm done with all the side stuff. I think I just have the like last stretch of main story to go.
I mean,
I beat the like super hard side boss that's like at the end of the side quest.
Okay, look, you can't say that there's another game you're dying to play and not expect me to ask what the game is.
Oh, it's Unicorn Overlord, the new Vanillaware game.
Yeah. Okay.
that I've already played a bunch of because I played the demo before it came out.
Oh, gotcha.
And it was like just the game, but at a certain point, it like is like you can only play for 6 more hours, and I'm like, I'm not gonna play that much more before this game is out. But thanks.
Yeah,
that's cool. Because that game was giving me like the vibes of what I've been desperately missing from like wanted and missing from modern Fire Emblem. Like Fire Emblem has just not hit for me in a while, but this is like, this has the vibes. This is good tactics, gameplay, and solid enough like what I want from characters and story. Not like anything complicated, but just like good and not fan servicey or whatever. It's hard for me to describe the problem with modern Fire Emblem writing, but
yeah. I mean, I get the vibe.
I've talked to the Wayward about it to like try and narrow it down, and I don't know that I have like a pithy way to describe it, but
I feel you, dude. Sometimes it's just not. We don't have words for everything. I got you though.
Yeah.
That
sometimes when things are just a little cliche, but doing the thing, that's better. That's what I want.
See, for Unicorn Overlord, I think I've identified that as a trap game for me.
Sure.
Like, I would 100% purchase that game. I don't know that I'd ever play it. Or I'd start it up and do like 4 hours and then never touch it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that'll change. But yeah. I'm aware of it, but got too many fighting games to play.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's your
I have to, like the latest and greatest Smash 3D fighter hit, Tekken 7. That'll be coming up soon.
Hell yeah. That has that guy from The Walking Dead in it.
It has my favorite Smash character in it.
He's a magic card.
Dude, all the crossover shit. People doing the memes about like number one, I forget what the fuck it was, like number one online waifu or whatever, and it was like Chun-Li. It was like her being like, "This is about the Fortnite Chun-Li." Like, I don't pose like this. Or some bullshit.
Fortnite Chun-Li was like the most searched character on a video game character on Pornhub last year.
Yeah, that sounds right. Oh, that's fucking funny. That does explain that.
I love the like diagrams they put out about their fucking metrics.
Oh, dude, it's too good.
They're so funny. And it was like, it's Chun-Li parentheses Fortnite.
yeah.
I'm dying.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, man. I got one more game to talk about. You may be...
Final Fantasy VII. It's great.
Yeah.
It is great.
Nice.
The character interactions are fucking top tier. Like, in terms of hanging out with your party, it's everything that Final Fantasy 16 wasn't. Gameplay wise, the thing I would say is the combat mini game. I mean, maybe not the best. Like,
sure.
That is the thing where I will say I playing this. I more appreciate 16 for its combat, because its combat is like, when you press the dodge button, it dodges, so it feels like I'm playing a video game. So often in this, when you press the dodge button, you still just get fucking destroyed. Like, it doesn't dodge, because it's like, it's not just an action game, it's like a real-time RPG.
Sure.
With like things being on timers and moves working in very particular ways. So like, you either have to dodge at like a very small window, or like you dodge multiple times to actually dodge something. I don't know. It gets and there are bosses in this game that just demand more of you than I think this combat was good for. Like in the first game, it was better because it didn't push you as hard, but because this game is such a bigger game, like I'm at like 120 hours or something, or I'm over 100 hours in this game, and the first game was not 50 even.
Oh wow.
And there's just so much more combat. Like they're like, and there are like a lot of, because I'm doing all the side stuff. There are a lot of technically optional boss like hard fights that have like requirements and ask particular things of you. That's just a lot for I feel like the engine this combat can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're putting two bosses on me, one of which has a move that will one hit KO my entire party, and I have to like manage that to not let him do that move. And then the other boss that's just hanging out will eventually like do moves that restrict my ability to move on the map, and then ask me to attack certain extra spawns, or he'll do a move that will basically one hit KO me. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And it gets really annoying when a big part of the difficulty is you not being able to control your character properly, because the game is like restricting you in certain ways or hitting you unfairly in ways like where like if you could just fucking dodge like it's a fucking action game, it would at least feel less bad.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Because it still has like all the classic RPG stuff of like disabling your character, but now you moving around in the space matters, so that all feels bad. So like I get how we get here, but then I'm like, you kind of fucked up in making it like this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I fucking beat him though. I looked up online how to beat shit, and people are like, "Yeah, I just set it to easy." I'm like, "Fuck you, no." I will do it. And then I bashed my head against the wall until eventually I did it on normal.
You know what? That's one thing I forgot to mention with Third Strike specifically in Fightcade. When I'm like, hey, how does Elena do this thing? Like, what is her response? And every like fucking 20 people were like, play a different character. And I'm like, you are scrubs. Get the fuck out of here. I set it to easy. That's not beating it in that context.
Well, it is horseshit. So
I mean, I probably would have done the same thing.
Because the answer really was there isn't really a trick to it. You just have to fucking do it.
Sure. Yeah.
It wasn't a thing where like I was missing something obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Although I kind of was, in that I just needed to go harder in exploiting. One of the bosses does have an elemental weakness, so I did just have to go harder in just exploiting that and killing the shit out of him. Like really, the way you get around it is you just kill the shit out of one of the bosses. You just have to be doing more damage so that his attack that like restricts you isn't a thing.
Yeah.
I had also kind of forgotten a mechanic that like allows you to be in the air a little bit more when you're beating on someone, and that was also very helpful.
Yeah,
because his attack, he would like spawn. He spawns like lines out in like a circle, and then they start rotating. But you don't have a jump. Like if you could just jump over them, it would be fine. But you don't have a jump button, Like your only recourse to defend yourself is to like block as it's passing through you, which like you have to position yourself close to it but not run into it, and you like get knocked up into the air. It was just annoying. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
And you're like under time crunch, and you're like, if you fuck up, you're gonna get.
Like, that shit. I hate the time crunch stuff.
It was
not
really,
me.
It was really annoying. It was really annoying.
Yeah.
It was like,
Blech.
and because it was a thing of like, oh, I thought I'd fought the worst boss in the game. It was the boss with the one hit KO, and then oh no, now I'm fighting that boss and another boss at the same time. It's that kind of horse shit.
Yeah. It's not for me.
Yeah, whatever. I did it. I'm
Hell
a gamer.
Yeah, you fucking play video games. Did you beat it well simultaneously eating Cheetos?
No, that I didn't do.
Not that much of a gamer then. Damn. But you were like calling the game slurs, right?
I was
Wow.
upset.
Not an immediate. Oh, a vague. I was upset. Hank was definitely saying gamer words.
No, I wasn't saying it. I was saying, come on. Are you fucking kidding me? That's what I was saying.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Wow, your fucking language. Oof.
Well, if I'm not here to get fucking pissed at games, but
No. You're about to get canceled because I'm going to tell everyone that while you're alone, you say, "Are you kidding me?" to games. You're fucking dust. It's over. You can't just be saying that shit. It's too violent. No,
because I don't. Yeah, but like I mean, like games are fun. If I'm getting fucking bad, I feel like I should be put it to easy. Fucking, what are you doing? But also, I'm stubborn.
That has been a joy of being in the fighting game community. People get fucking pissed. And like there's a dedicated Salt channel, but like there was actually someone who got banned recently, and it was like on one hand like good, the place is a bit less toxic, but like I got nothing to read now. You know? They like tied their fucking in-game rank to like their personal happiness and like sense of fulfillment in life.
No.
But like they also weren't good at the game. And would like it has to be a thing. Like they wanted to improve, but it has to be a thing of like if you're angry enough, you actually can't improve. Like anything you learn goes out the window because you start seeing red, you know? Like so reading this was great. But also, it was taking up a lot of screen space, I understand, from an admin point of view.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I tried. I don't get it. I like not being angry at games. That's why I gave up on online arena with randos. When it gets to the point where I'm already huffed because they turn one island, like, I shouldn't be playing this game. This is just not stuff for me.
Yeah, and I mostly don't get mad, particularly with multiplayer stuff. I'll just I eat shit. That's fine.
Yeah. Maybe my fighting game mentality can carry over now. Maybe I'll be okay.
It does get different when you're like get mad because your teammate's being bad or whatever.
Well, it's an easy
or
thing
if you
to
have a
blame,
teammate
right?
who's being toxic and like.
Oh yeah, no. If it's a teammate being, that's like a completely different scenario. I do think like in team-based games, it's very easy to just like, I'm doing good. My teammates are doing shit. This isn't my fault. That's why we lost. Mm-hmm. Like that's its own brand of shit.
You're just offloading.
It is
having to take any responsibility.
It's
easy.
It is very interesting seeing this sort of dichotomy in I assume it happens in Magic, in fighting games, and basically in any 1v1 situation. So even like something like Mechabellum or whatever. If you lost in any of these games, what is your, aside from like, that's okay, I lost, like what is your thought? Like, do you just assume like they got better? They had a better thing? Whatever they did? They did a thing better?
Uh-huh.
Okay. There's a lot of people who are like, I'm worse. And I think that's such a different... It says a lot about you, I feel like. If you're losing a 1v1 thing and you're like, I lost because I'm bad. Versus, I lost because this person's good. That's such a different thing. And it's so interesting seeing how, like, both of those people are frequent.
No, sometimes I'll say I'm bad. Because if I know...
Sure.
Like... But it's like, because I know I can't do this thing. Like, there's this particular thing. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, like, oh, yeah. I lost because I didn't know how to do this.
But like...
Because that's a thing with, like, how much am I playing this video game? Like, if I'm... Because with most games, like, if I'm playing it frequently and casually, like... I will say, like, it's because I'm bad, because I don't know, like, what I'm doing or whatever.
Yeah, no, sure. If it's a thing that, like, you're just kind of here to hang out with or whatever, that's fine. I do that too. Like, no, I'm just kind of bad at the game. And someone's like, do you want any tips? I'm like, nope. I'm just here to fucking mash around or whatever. But yeah.
Sometimes when you're playing a fighting game, you can go, that person was fucking good.
Oh,
they
dude,
destroyed me.
there was a match I had a while back now, and I still can't stop thinking about it. It's not like they were I because my region is so fucked. I was plat 4. I fell back down to plat 4. I got placed against 2 masters. That's not supposed to fucking happen.
Yeah,
and that was ridiculous. I faced a random like plat 5 Manon.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane. It was fucking insane, and I like, what else can you do but be like, this is crazy, like,
yeah,
especially for that character because she's dog shit, like objectively, and they just dusted me, and I'm still thinking about it because like it's just what the hell, what can you do?
Mm-hmm. But there's definitely a thing of like if I'm like picking up a new fighting game. Or a new instance of a fighting game that like I haven't played a lot, and I'm just playing, like I can feel like I can just murder people that are worse than me, right? Like just destroy them, like you when you were starting it, like just fucking wreck them. And then I hit a person who's like knows what they're doing. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna lose because I don't actually know what I'm doing either. But there is this level where I'm like I can just fucking bully people.
Well, there's a reason,
or then I get my ass handed to me,
like,
and it's kind of frustrating. Of like just when you feel like you're stuck in that because you don't feel like you're fighting against people who are like where it's like the right skill level for you to like hammer out and just get better.
Yeah,
I do. There are games where I've stopped playing because I feel like I couldn't find that space in the matchmaking.
See, and like. I mean, for you, when I think about like Street Fighter 6 specifically, like probably if you like, you would have to, you'd either have to like grind a little bit or like focus on like tightening up whatever shit. But like, you were beating me pretty handily in gold. Like, I think just by default you're there, but like. You're not. It's not like you're playing ranked all the time.
It was specifically I had to tighten up my like drive rush, dealing with it and stuff. Like I just.
But even that.
Mostly of what when matches got annoying for me, it was because of that specifically, and I just didn't have the patience to fucking keep up with it because I would like work on it and then I wouldn't play for a bit and then it would all be gone.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Well, and that's the thing I've actually been wondering, like, and it's kind of true for anything. It happened with Rocket League, too, years ago. Like, I took a break, and now they've made some, like, changes to matchmaking and stuff. Like, when I went from Armenia to visit the U.S., like, the U.S. online was so much more difficult. I was losing my fucking mind. Like, just overall, it was harder. People felt like they were more challenging to play against. But now that they've made the matchmaking adjustments, like this region also feels the same, if not a little more difficult. And like I had taken some time off, and like I think that it's definitely a game where like the longer you don't play, the base becomes just higher skilled overall.
Yeah.
Rocket League that was rough. I tried going back to that after not playing for years. People are fucking wild in that game.
Yeah.
I used to be good.
No more.
No more. I also talk about my last game quick. I do have
Sure.
I technically have 2 games listed because they're kind of related. I had this grand plan of doing a short YouTube video of like Rift Wizard gameplay and then Path of Achra or Achra. I actually asked the creator. He said he pronounces it Achra because he's from the Midwest, but it's either. Path of Achra and Rift Wizard 2, which actually just came out on March 25th. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I actually kind of don't want to do a video on Rift Wizard because I just kind of don't want to play it. I want to play Path of Achra, which came out in 2023. So Rift Wizard is like, I'll give a brief background. Kind of traditional roguelike in like the fact that the graphics are kind of non-existent, and then the movement. It's all tile-based and all that stuff, or turn-based and tile-based. Randomly generated levels, all that stuff. And also difficulty, like it has a learning curve, and I'm kind of bad at it because it involves planning, which I hate fucking doing. You have to like look ahead and like figure out your, like it's a lot of it's based a lot on like enemy immunities, and it's not just like this thing's 50% less weak to this. It's like it's 100% immune to it. So you have to like plan for that shit. And meanwhile, I'm like, I just want to cast Fireball repeatedly. So it's a very fun game, and it's the way that it's sort of innovated on traditional roguelites is that you have everything available at once. It's like about building a book of spells basically, and you can if you want to just get the spell that gives you, if you want to start from the bottom and get like, you can summon a wolf, you can do that. You can get like the level 1 wolf spell, or you could get some other cheaper spell and then level up a couple of times and skip straight to summon a bear, and then just go for you can do it in any order, and that's really cool. And then it's more like you go through like rooms as opposed to like a whole open randomly generated thing, and it's more puzzly. So like you can look at all the enemies you're going to be encountering, their health, their immunities, and like then you're also balancing your charges for spells and your HP, which does not regenerate without both of them without potions. People loved it in the community because it's very difficult, it's puzzly, and like you just get all these tools that you can do anything with. Too difficult for me. I love the concept. I'm just ass at it. Path of Achra is like that, but much more streamlined, and it vibes with me a lot better. Sure. Basically, a dude looked at Rift Wizard and was like, this is really cool. I love the concept of just having all of the tools available, but I really like finding like the equipment that enables builds and that sort of thing. So it's kind of a similar deal, except you have skills and prayers and whatever, but then maybe if you're leaning into summons, you find like a piece of armor that gives your allied units like plus health or whatever. And it's also kind of built to not necessarily, it doesn't have to be, but the creator recognized that a majority of these builds are just going to be going through a level slaughtering things because you can min-max and do whatever and just become very strong. So you can literally just get into a level, hold down a button, and your guy will just automatically pathfind and like hit enemies and stuff. And that's kind of like, I really like it. It is fucking, I've already put like 20 hours into it because you can just keep, there's like so many build options. There's like, I think he said eventually you at the start of each run, you choose a culture, a class, and a religion. And that, defines your traits and everything else. And he said by the time 1.0 comes out, he wants to have 24 of each. And then like there's prestige classes. Like if you put enough points into this skill group, you can like choose this special class or whatever. And is just really fun. And it's balanced around the lowest level of difficulty, which is not crazy hard. And then if you're like a masochist, you can go up like another 24 levels of difficulty that he does not balance for, because fuck those people. So it's very fun. I've been having a great time just doing builds, and like I do plan on doing a little video of like gameplay of that, because it's very simple and very fun. And then Rift Wizard 2, I heard it was even more difficult than the first one, even though it fixed some stuff. So I just like that killed any interest I had. Not here for
the like hard planning thing. Maybe just think of that programming.
Yeah, dude. That's what I was. That's what made me think of. I mean, even
you have like three like types, and they just like all hard counter each other. It's about like planning ahead, and it's like just information overload. It's like you can set up so much stuff, but also it all becomes fucking noise, because I don't. At a certain point, I'm just like, this is too much.
Yeah. There was someone
just send my little dudes to go beep boop, and they went.
Yeah, dude. It was funny. Someone in a Discord for this game, I mentioned something about it, just talking casually. And he's like, "Well, no, it's not that bad. You just have to plan." And I'm like, "My dude, I don't even like slay the spire. You just have to look at the boss that you're gonna be facing." And he's like, "But slay the spire is easy." I'm like, "Not when you fucking like flying by the seat of your pants." You're telling me all the good shit that I've been rolling into this entire game is now null and void because I got the wrong boss? Ugh. Well, you could just look at the boss. Yeah, but that's lame. What am I, a nerd? But no, it's been a fun time. I really like the game, and it gives you.
They're always like there's always
things.
like a limit to like what amount of learning stuff is like fun for you, and what is like too much, and you just tune it all out. It becomes mush.
Or even like
too much.
Even like Mechabellum. I'm like, this is a lot. Like I just want to set up.
Mechabellum I was into until I stopped playing, and then I'm like, oh, but now they're gonna be changes, and
here's the thing.
What is the meta anymore?
Here's the thing. That's a perfect time for us to play.
Hell yeah.
Like playing against other people was miserable, and then playing against you was fine, but then you went harder, and then it kind of got like I just had nothing. And that game, the way that game, well, I guess it's not true because based on the units left is how much you slam people. So I guess it isn't like dragging for losses. Depending.
No.
Depends on how much I can hang on. I mean, I'd be down to check that shit out again.
Yeah. The other thing I was just thinking about was with the card game that's in Rebirth, Queen's Blood, like just the joy of playing a card game that's built for a single player thing, so it's just completely breakable. Like
hell yeah, dude.
Busted open. Feels great.
You should play
destroy people.
You should play Bellatro.
Oh, God. I've heard too many. I have too many people in the like everyone who talks about video games on the internet was playing Bellatro. It was like if you talk about video games on the internet, then you have to talk about Bellatro.
Because number go up. It's just that easy. Someone was like trying to hard sell me on it, and I was like, I like I enjoy roguelikes. I enjoy roguelites. I enjoy Isaac and like getting strong and like doing synergies and like getting shit that's like wild and wonky and broken and whatever. I don't give a fuck about Poker Shell. Like if you had that same game but it was like casting spells or like fantasy or something or cyberpunk setting or whatever, I would probably be interested. But it's just poker, so I don't care. Or like, well, it's not poker, it's this. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I don't like this. It doesn't get me going.
The creator has explicitly said he doesn't like poker.
Yeah, I know, but like it's just I find that those visuals boring.
Sure.
Like
I mean, I just don't. I don't want to play a roguelike. Is really my thing.
sure.
I like having my deck and then getting to play with it.
Yeah.
Really.
No, I
or
feel that.
or doing like specific puzzle setups that are not
Dude,
built around like me having had to make the right choices previously or whatever to have the tools I need to solve the thing.
That's what I hate about Slay the Spire and Monster Train. Oh, it pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
Like the funniest part about that, like you said about like single player thing that lets your deck just be broken, and people are like, but if you don't know if the boss can die to any deck, then like that's broken. I'm like, yeah, that's fun. I made a synergized deck
I figured
because
the
of
thing
my
out.
I made good decisions.
Because I'm not looking for the game I will play forever, right? I'm looking for a thing I will have fun with. That was why Inscription was fucking delightful.
I need to play it still.
On
Eventually.
top of other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. There is a particular joy to the single player card game thing that I feel like the market is underserving because roguelites are too.
Now they're popping off again. Have you seen any of the like shit that's coming out now? They got roguelike blackjack, they got roguelike fucking crane game, roulette, like it's all just hitting. Shout out to fucking years ago now when I got it in my head to do to play through and review all of the roguelites that were available. And about probably 6 months or less after that idea struck me and I made this nice little Google Doc. That's about when shit exploded exponentially, and I'm like, this is impossible. Like, I could die before this gets done, and now it's happening again. Like, there was one point where I'm like, I had a list of like the games that I needed to get, and like it wasn't fucking insurmountable, and then they just started rolling. I mean, honestly, Hades like struck main market, and then it popped off. I think was like the thing that it was that catalyst. So
I was like, I've read every Venom comic that's ever existed, and then I quit reading comic books, and now I look at it, and there are more Venom comics since I quit. That existed before I quit.
I'm gonna keep up with Star Wars. I mean, I was ready to.
It's a fresh start.
Yeah, dude, exactly. I was like, I'm here for the beginning. I could do this. Yeah. And I was doing it for a little bit. Whatever. I had my fun. Speaking of stuff I read, though, this is a real quick one. The Mere Wife by Maria Dahvana Headley, who you may recognize as the translator and author of Beowulf, a new translation. Bro. So the Mere Wife is her reimagining and kind of retelling, but very, very liberal reimagining of Beowulf. If Beowulf was kind of a dick cop, he's not the main. You're not following him. If he was a dick cop, if the Heorot Hall was like suburbia, and if Grendel was a child of a mother who was like a traumatized army veteran who got like outcast in society and now is living in a mountain next to suburbia. It still has a little bit of like Grendel is still kind of presented as a bit of a actual like monster, like he has claws and whatever. It's really good, but it's also I could see someone reading it and feeling like they were eating a cake that was too rich. Like I love her writing style. Her prose is fucking great, and it's kind of it has that dreamlike-ish quality to it in a good way, if that makes sense.
Sure.
and like like she weaves in like a lot of alliteration, kind of like poetical elements and stuff. And the story was just very good. I thought it was a really cool rendition and some good changes to like, you know, I mean, the Beowulf story can be very easily twisted to be like fucked up.
Yeah. I don't think I want it fucked up though.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I think this was her because one of the things that I saw about her translation was that it's more of like a feminist translation, but like it is, but like it's not like if you're translating correctly, it's not like you can do a lot with it, you know? You can like take different words, which she did, but I think this was her kind of getting that out of her system. And specifically because it's her, like I'm cool. If it was like someone who hadn't done a translation of Beowulf and like just was doing the story but different, I'd be a lot. I wouldn't have even bothered. But I'm like, you know what you're doing, like you put in the fucking work. So, and it was fun. There was a lot of good shit. Like Suburbia sucks. And I had a good time. The characters didn't. The characters are miserable. Everybody. The only people who didn't fuck were Beowulf and Grendel's mom. Ugh. Everybody else got totally fucked. But it was very interesting. So it's one of those things where like I want to recommend it, but at the same time, like read Seamus Heaney Beowulf and then read Maria Dahvana Headley Beowulf and then read The Mere Wife. And that's a lot. That's a lot to put on someone just randomly.
Just read.
I mean, the first two are like people should read those generally. Also, they're not long. This is longer. Long. It's a book. No, it's not huge. It's like 300.
Just read Beowulf.
Did you say? Oh yeah, that Beowulf. There is. I checked it out. There is a Beowulf, which is BAE. That is like an amateur film. Yeah. That one didn't last more than like 20 minutes. It was bad.
Sure.
I mean, I hope those people go on to do good shit. Like, it's an amateur film that had a bit of a budget, but like, oof.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. Yeah, so that was a fun little read. It is currently the only physical book I have at this apartment. All my other Beowulf.
Brutal.
Yeah, dude. Depressing. The last thing I did, I decided I wanted to watch the Netflix live action Last Airbender. I made it 30 minutes into the first episode, which was like 60 minutes. It was bad. I didn't even get to the shit that we had talked about like toxic positivity and like them taking out Sokka's sexism and shit. They just felt the need.
Article.
They just felt the need to exposition the hell out of everything. Fucking everything. Like shit that didn't need an explanation. Like you get into scenes about like how the Fire Nation attacked the air temples, when they did it, and like their plan, and like there was a festival, so all of the nations were at one place, and I'm like, nobody fucking asked. The Fire Nation attacked, it went bad for the Air Nation, and then the rest of the world got borked. Like, we had the setup. I don't know why we needed to go in on this. And then like that's how it starts. And then later, like, Katara's grandma is like expositioning more shit that's similar, and I'm like, what are you doing? We should have been like halfway to the Earth Kingdom by now. This is dumb as hell.
Filming a person sitting talking costs less than
apparently.
Effects.
And like, here's the thing. Yeah, I don't even
action thing.
I don't even know how the effects are. I can't, like, I got half an episode's worth of acting. It's not even like, oh, the acting is weird and like they made these changes. I don't even know. Like, it turned me off before I got to any of that shit. The only thing I saw like related to bending that I could even point a finger at is like they had Aang doing the thing where he can just fly. Like he doesn't need the glider. He's not using the ball. They had him use the air ball, but like he's just flying. And I'm like, that's stupid. I don't know why you had a perfect thing. At least just do a 1-to-1 telling of it. I don't know why.
All I can think of is when the story from the production of Batman the Animated Series, where they first Tim and another producer, they were overseeing the animation, and they got back stuff, and TMS had just made Batman fly, and they were like, "Why did he fly?" And they huddled up. They were talking Japanese, and they came back. Because he has a cape.
Yeah, I mean, it's right in there. Why can he fly? Well, he has like air powers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a complete fucking whiff, and like I've not heard bad things about it. Like, here's the thing: people are saying it's better than the movie, right?
That's
like
not a high bar.
But it's not a high bar. But it's like I hit you with it after I watched the bit. I'm like, what is actually worse? 2 hours of a terrible thing or 8 hours of a really mid thing that's kind of leaning towards bad? I'd take the film, honestly, over watching this series. Like, I'd rather, and that's miserable in a way that I can laugh at least. Like, it's horrendous. It's fucking terrible. Yeah. This isn't horrendous. Yeah. It's just, why?
Annoying.
Hopefully they stop. Like, we don't need live action Airbender. It doesn't.
I mean, I don't care if they stop. I'm just not gonna watch it.
No, sure. But like, this is kind of another. I mean, there was a lot of bleed in from like Star Wars over this, where I was like, you know what? I don't need to be comfortable accepting all the new shit. I have the original shit that I like. I don't need, like, I'm not out here like fucking shitting on people who like live action Airbender. Go for it. That's great.
Yeah, I really feel like live action Cowboy Bebop really broke me on my desire to like where I should check things out.
See, and that one was funny because I was like, this is okay. It wasn't great, but I was like, it was good enough for me to watch.
No.
I have heard the good thing I'll say that I've heard, well, the good thing to me that I've heard about the live action series is that it has done a lot of onboarding for people to be like, I should check out the original. And it's like, yeah, you should. It's great. So there's that. That's a cool thing. But I don't know, man. I know they got like a bunch of animated stuff in the works. They have like movies and like maybe a series or mini series or something, like following Adult Gang and Kyoshi and everything else. And I'm like, I actually don't need it. There's like a bit of, it's like it's the same exact shit as like, we didn't need to like define the Force. It's fun to think about what it is. I don't need to like get all the backstories and go on to learn about how my beloved characters turned into shitbags as soon as they became adults. We can just pretend that it was good forever. So, yeah. I still look, I'm still going to check shit out. Maybe not that, but like, I guess I'm not going to check out like extra material that's like put out like directly to stem off of the stuff we have, but like an adaptation. Like, I'll check it out. Worst case scenario, I get to dunk on it for a while. Whatever. Years ago, maybe I would have pushed through and like watched the whole thing because I was honed in on being like, I need to watch all of it. Then I can properly, like, then I have the authority to like talk about it. No, thanks.
I would say where I'm not is, I'll see it and it'll be fun to dunk on. I'm just not there currently.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just not.
Totally.
That doesn't sound that fun.
To be clear, I wanted it to be good. Like, I was checking it out because I wanted to like I didn't go into this fucking hating it. I was cautious, of course, but like that, like I gave it 30 minutes and I'm like, nope, that's bye.
Although I did watch all of Monarch, so there is room in my heart to watch something I'm just to hate watch it.
Oh, dude, like everybody has that though. I'm not gonna like. I'm just, someone out there is like, oh, you what? I'm sure. Maybe even you are like, so you didn't give Avatar the time of day, but you watched Cowboy Bebop live action. What? Why the despair? Well, because I felt like watching all the mid thing at the time, and this time I didn't. Whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just in the mood.
Yeah, man.
And often I'm in the mood that I can't even watch fucking things I like. So,
I mean, I'm still waiting for you to be in the mood to check out some of the cartoon stuff. Even though I like gutted that beyond recognition. Too much time passed. I'm like, this is like half of this isn't worth checking out. And more time passed. I'm like, another third of this actually isn't worth checking out. So it's working out for you. We're really streamlining it.
Hell yeah. Maybe by the end it'll be stuff I'd like. That would be great for me. Work out perfectly.
I think the list is 4 deep right now. I think it's cut down to stuff I think you have a chance of liking.
Right, what's on there? I don't even know.
DC Superhero Girls, which I don't necessarily expect you to like, but you know, maybe you will. I thought it's fun. DC stuff. Silly DC. It's silly DC stuff where the characters just chill. Like they're all hanging out all the time, which is fun. Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beast, which your friend recommended to you also. So I feel extra confident that you'll enjoy that one. At least have a better chance of enjoying it. The Owl House, totally up in the air. I could see you liking it. I could see you being like meh, but I really liked it. And Infinity Train, which honestly no idea. I got nothing in my Hank notes for that one.
Fair.
But these are like the ones that, I mean, I've done all of them. There was one on there where I'm like, this is the fucking most Ben unfriendly piece of media I've ever encountered in my entire life. I'm like, you know what? It's like not worth watching, actually. Even for that bit, it's just not worth. It was fucking disgusting though. Like on a incredible level. Like there's been a lot of shit that's like, ooh, this scene is like a little rough, or ooh, like this movie like has a lot of stuff. No, this entire episode of a thing that up until then was not that. Just for an episode, they're like, fuck him. Just hit him with all of it. And it was a nightmare. I'm glad that show got canceled. They fucking deserved it. For anyone interested, it was 12 Forever. I think it was episode 11 or 12 or something like that. It's just awful.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, there was some other stuff on there. Like, I don't know if any of it, if it necessarily continued. Like, there was a couple things that I thought were like popular and were going to get continued. And I think at least one of them did not. So like, that's meh. And then the other stuff, just whatever. I think the only other one, I don't even know if it's on here or what the deal was. I know we've talked about it. That I think maybe someone else said that you would like it if you powered through, was like She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
No, I said I would, because I watched
you would
enough
like
of it.
Yeah,
I watched enough of it to know, like, oh, I fucking love She-Ra and Catra's.
Yeah,
they're like they're dynamic. I fucking love it, and then I got annoyed that they were split up.
Yeah.
This is literally why I stopped watching. Was they just weren't in it together enough,
right,
and I didn't really like it, and I didn't care about any other characters. Like all the other characters, like fucking get out of here.
That's fair. No. Well, excited to.
That one is funny to me. There's just like a hard line on that relationship. It's like, yeah, they get together at the end. I'm like, that's great. I'm happy, but I don't know that I can't have the patience to get there.
Sure. Yeah. But no, that's all the stuff I've done. That's a hell of a pile. We're at like 2.5 hours.
Hell yeah. I've been playing some HOTS. That game's still good.
Yeah, we need to play some of that. We could even play some of that tonight.
Hell yes. Also, I was thinking maybe we should play some Halo.
Yeah, I was actually
your discovering of
yeah, that they put in the maps that I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see. I think it still runs fine on deck. I don't think there's been anything weird. My only thing was maybe it was something weird because I was trying to do it on an external display. I think there was like something when I tried playing Forza because I heard that ran okay. Signing into Microsoft was like a bitch. I couldn't do it. So that may or may not work. We'll see. That might be a thing where like if I'm playing just on the deck itself, it's fine. Otherwise, maybe it's just wonky. And it ran fine at like the deck's resolution. I don't know if I'm on an external display if it will handle it all right. Well, I mean, it would handle. I don't know if it'll handle it at like 1080. So
sure.
I mean, I honestly have no problem just watching the deck, like just setting that up on its little stand, and then hooking a controller up. That's whatever.
Yeah, as long as you're close enough.
Yeah, just barrel stuff in it, just eyes literally on the screen.
Yeah. Get a head strap.
No, I'd be down for that shit.
All right. Oh, I think that's a podcast. Salt Circle Podcast, gmail.com, Salt Circle Pod. On Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels. Anchor.fm/Salt Circle. YouTube.com/@SaltCircle.
Yeah.
Peace.